Yo-Dave kit. This actually already has the Yo-Dave kit in it, but the spring or the sear, I'm not sure which one to use. And want to lighten it up a little bit. I would say that right now it's probably more like 4 pounds, maybe 3 pounds. I think we could lighten it up and be nice to get it down to 2 pounds or 1.5 pounds, something like that. So, right. Tune this trigger a little bit on the CZ455, kind of wrap up the project. What I have is the leftover parts from a Yo-Dave trigger kit. This is what most guys that run the CZ455 are going to use to improve their trigger. Basically what it comes with, and this is only a partial kit, but it's like 12 bucks. I mean, you can't beat it. And it comes with multiple springs, which are on this little dowel, and they're varying strengths. So the one that comes with your CZ455 is pretty stiff to push down. And then you've got, you know, a couple more that are considerably easier, and even easier. And then you've got really, really light ones like this. And that's probably the one that I'm going to try. I think the one I have in my rifle is the lightest one. It might be the second lightest, I don't remember. But we'll try this, see how it goes. You also have different diameters of these little, if you'd call them bushings or whichever, but basically different thicknesses and diameters. So what that's going to do is that goes over your sear and basically makes the pole shorter. The problem is if you do too aggressive of a sear and too aggressive of a spring, when you run your bolt, the bolt will actually come out because the sear is also the bolt catch, so the bolt will come right out the back. He's not going to be running this any kind of a tactical match. He's just going to be kind of plinking around with it, so it's not that big of an issue, but I did want to lighten up the trigger a little bit and see how it goes. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do, once again, got my torque wrench here. I'll go ahead and remove these two. Stock off, set that aside. Oh, thanks, buddy. It's my assistant Cash. Oh boy. So let me get the camera situated and show you what we have here. So what we have here is the trigger assembly on the CZ455. So you've got your trigger, obviously. This is the spring that we were just talking about that you would replace to make it lighter. That's going to make the pole lighter. The other area that you can swap out is this pin here, which has the sear on it. So that's what you would take and swap out and put one of these other, get my camera to focus, put one of these other cylinders on there to basically make it more sensitive, make it fatter, and it's going to engage the sear more quicker or with less movement. Okay. You'd remove both of these push pins in order to do a full trigger job on the CZ455. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to bother with the sear for right now. I'm just going to swap out the spring and see what kind of change I get with that. So what I would do in order to do that is just punch out this one push pin here, and then this is going to come out and I'll be able to swap out the spring, replace it, and go from there. So let's go ahead and do that. See if I can do it just by hand. Looks like I'm gonna need something to tap it out of there. Okay, so there you go. So you notice now that I have the pin out of there, this wants to spring forward. So if I remove that, let go of this, the spring is gonna push free. So that's the spring that he had in there. I'm just going to take and compare that to some of the, compare that to some of the others that I have in the kit here. And just by squeezing them, I can tell that it is definitely one of the stiffer springs that comes in the kit. This is by far the lightest, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that spring on there. And what it has is a little catch right there where you put the spring at, push it in, and I'll go ahead and run my push pin back through. Not sure how well I have it lined up there. Hammer would definitely be a better tool to use. Kind of macro-engineering it at this point, but there you go. So I've got it in. Now it is considerably lighter. Now let's go ahead and put the bolt back in. So to put the bolt in, you do have to hold the trigger back because once again the sear acts as the bolt catch as well. So go ahead and so it should be lighter than the other. Not feeling a huge difference between the two. Still crisp. Definitely doesn't seem to have any play in it. When I pull on it and when I apply pressure, it breaks really nice and clean. It does seem to be lighter, so that's all I'm going to monkey with it. That is the lightest spring that I happen to have on hand. I don't feel like there's a lot of play in there, so I'm not going to bother with the changing out the sear. And we'll put it all back together and see how it goes. Alright, so I got the trigger all done. Go ahead and drop it into the stock here. Flip it over. Put it back together. Now there are two different lengths of bolt here. See, shorter one goes in the back, longer one goes in the front. Hey, you're ruining my video, dude. Chill out, will ya? Actually, I'm wrong. Backwards. Start over. So there are two different lengths of bolt. There's a longer and a shorter. See that there? The longer one goes in the back and shorter one goes in the front. You have to kind of wedge this trigger guard down in there. Don't mind Cash. Buddy, don't touch the camera.
Cat.
That's your name.
Cat. Cat. Toys. Sit.
So we'll do a test once we get up back up on the mountain and actually shooting, but what we typically torque them down to is about 30 inch-pounds. So that's what I have this set at. I'm just going to go back and forth. Okay. Definitely lighter. Still not as light as my triggers on mine, but definitely lighter. Which I think is a good thing. So, done project. So we'll take this back up on the mountain and try it out again and see if we can't shoot a little better groups this time.